What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here on the TP Coach's Corner. Man, as I said, if you guys been tuning in, you watched that game one game of the World Series last night, man, them Braves are ready to do it, man. We got to chop on hard. You're going to hear the horn a lot, guaranteed. It's been going off for about 20 days straight. It's going to keep going off till we win this World Series, man. So go ahead and chop on, Braves. That's what I'm talking about. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting, man. I tell you what, got a lot to go over NASCAR news, and what an exciting race we had there at Kansas. The inevitable happens, as you all know. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's been the same old song and dance pretty much almost all season long. But if you've been tuning in, you guys know we started off with the word of the day. If you haven't, basically this is what the word of the day is. Every time I say this word during the show today, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always say it's age appropriate. Kids can play along too. So even if you're under the age of 21, man, grab an energy drink, something with a lot of sugar. Get hyped up on the Wednesday. Stay up late. Watch the Braves go ahead and win Game 2 right here tonight. Put themselves in a good situation coming on back home to Atlanta, man. I'm telling you right now, be on the lookout. We're going to do some big things. But last week's word of the day was Hendrick. So if you watch the show, you know I'm a Chase Elliott fan. Kyle Larson's been winning a lot of races. They both race for Rick Hendrick Motorsports. So I'm sure I said that quite a few times, man. So there again, word's going to pop up every time I say that word. Make sure you take a sip of your favorite drink, man. And today's word's going to be, I have no idea, but I'm sure it'll be something interesting, man. So getting right into it, NASCAR news. As I was saying earlier, same old song and dance. 5-car, Kyle Larson comes home with that victory there at Kansas. Man, I tell you what, great exciting race. The guy's on a streak. That's 3 in a row again there, you know, for him. I tell you, it could be 4 in a row easy. Who knows? Could come out and get the win this week at Martinsville. We're going to have to wait and see, but what a season he's had, man. And getting down to the nitty-gritty, we're going to find out if he can, you know, seal the deal and come home with that championship, or if it's going to go to one of the other 3 drivers that make it in, man. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But more interesting news there. You had Dale Jr., Clint Boyer, and Tony Stewart got in the next-gen car there at Bowman Gray Speedway, Stadium Speedway. I tell you what, man, all of them had some good things to say about the next-gen car. You know, they said it kind of does everything better, were words quoted there by Dale Jr. So I'm excited to see what we're going to have next year at that Coliseum in L.A. when they open up with a very similar racetrack to what Bowman Gray is. Man, I tell you, they say it's going to sound absolutely amazing, that it's got an amazing sound to it. So really excited, man, really stoked about it. I hope there again it races as good as this one does. Maybe gives the driver a little bit more control of the race car in aspects of what they're able to do from inside. But we're just going to have to wait and see, man, and we don't have that long to wait, honestly. So it's going to be neat. Man, speaking of Dale Jr., been announced he's going to turn around and he'll race the Xfinity race at Martinsville next year in 2022. That'll be pretty interesting as well. For all those Dale Jr. fans out there, you get to see him come back and kind of, you know, fix the itch there and get that 1 race in a year, or maybe 2, who knows. But at least you get to see him back out there on the track, and kind of does justice for him as well, man. So more news, you got the 20-car crew chief, Adam Stevens, suspended coming into Martinsville, man. You know, we all know Christopher Bell's made it out of the race. He's not in the, you know, race for the championship any longer. But there again, he's still there trying to win a race. This does kind of hurt that team a little bit. We'll have to see how they rebound, cranking it off there, going into Martinsville without that main crew chief, man. So, there again, had a lot of issues, man. At Kansas, you had some other penalties coming out. The 14 and the 22 were both penalized, not suspended on anything, loose lug nuts. We see that at least 1 to 3 cars every single race, just kind of the nature of the beast in today's sport, man, and how quick it's got to be on that final stop in different scenarios that happens. So, and it's a human factor, man. So there again, had some loose lugs, got some penalties, but no big deal for them. Still got to do what they got to do coming into Martinsville, man. So there again, thank you guys for tuning in to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Please pause station identification right here at Coach's Corner Sports Network, man. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday, man. Beer champions right there, man, I'm telling you. So thank you guys, like I said, for tuning in. Make sure you go out, like, share, follow on all the social media, man. We got it out there on Twitter, Instagram. You can catch us on Facebook. Definitely make sure you go check out the Rubbin' and Grubbin' YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Share it to all your friends. Definitely a pretty neat deal that Lawrence, my producer, does there to post that on YouTube. Does some little things, edits a little bit, man. I tell you what, it's an awesome show. If you hadn't checked it out, make sure you go definitely subscribe to that, man, and check that out. So, like I said, getting into that playoff picture, kind of had a couple crazy weeks, man. A lot of guys having a lot of issues in different ways. We saw a lot of issues there for drivers there at Kansas, man. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of a tight battle to see who's going to make it in this 4. But right now, the way it's looking, you got the 5 car obviously sitting in first. Chase Elliott moves up to 2nd. Denny Hamlin's in 3rd, and Kyle Busch, the Candyman himself, right there above that cut line. Then you got Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano. So we saw Blaney go from 2nd down to 5th here, in 1 week's time. Martin Truex there again had some trouble. Keselowski, a lot of guys had some trouble there at Kansas, man. It kind of cost them a little bit in the points. But I tell you what, from 3rd back to 7th, it is still a pretty tight little point race there. They're all spread out by, 2 to 6 points, 1 to 6 points there. A little bit more for 7th and 8th. I think Logano's pretty much almost in a must-win. Not necessarily, but, I mean, we got to have guys that are in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Hamlin, Elliott, and Kyle Busch going to have some trouble for more than one of these guys to get in. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it, man. But I tell you what, it's going to be a very interesting, drama-filled race here at Martinsville for that cutoff. I think a little more drama-filled than what we're used to seeing, just due to the fact of how tight this point race is. So it's something to keep an eye on. We've already had some drama in the last couple weeks. Might have some drama going into that championship race at Phoenix. And I would hate to see a guy interfere with somebody's championship run, but at the end of the day, do unto others as they do unto you, man. And we've seen it time after time. So we'll have to see where all the pieces fall, who comes out clean, who comes out with some new, problems with somebody else, and where it goes from there. But going to be a great, interesting race, man. So moving right into checkered flag for charity. Hadn't sworn yet tonight, so what the hell, I'll say it right there. All right, man, boom, dollar in there. I tell you what, basically that is going to be the swear bucket, but we use it for checkered flag for charity, man. And basically what we do here on Rubbin' and Grubbin' is every week, whatever car number wins that race, we donate that into the bucket. If you guys have been watching, we all know anything under the 20 at Christopher Bell is always going to be a 20. So we make sure we throw that in there, man. That brings this year's grand total to $3,699 raised right here on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. I tell you what, I take a very great pride in that, man. This is really the main reason I enjoy doing this. Not only do I get to, talk NASCAR and drink some cold beer and hang out with a lot of good people and good friends, man. At the same time, I get to raise money for great causes. This year, as you know, with the checkered flag for charity, we did Ronald McDonald House last year. We always choose a charity. This year, it's help save one of our own. We've decided to help save one of our own. Man, I tell you what, we have done such an amazing job, not only on Rubbin' and Grubbin', but Coach's Corner as a venue, man, and what they do, what John and Adele Henderson and everybody involved does here at Coach's Corner, man. I tell you what, we have raised a very good amount of money right here with the TP, man, but we always could use more. Like I said, this goes to a charity, staying local right here in Savannah, helps families. You've seen it with the Spear family, with the Becca Bash, Randy Palooza. These guys do a lot of great things, man. So if you're going to take some time and make a great charitable donation, this is the place to do it, man. Make sure you stop by the TP, come out, check it out, man. Make that donation. Like I said, it all goes to help save one of our own, man. Stays local in that community. So like I say all the time, none of this is possible without y'all. Nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, does not matter what you got to donate, man. Whatever it is, make sure you you come up and make that charitable donation, man. Like I say, if you're here at Coach's, getting a bite to eat, having some beers with your friends, man, round it up to the nearest buck. Like I tell you, man, it doesn't matter the amount. It's just the fact of doing. And I tell you what, all of it adds up there again for such a great local organization, a great local cause, man. So make sure you come out, Coach's Corner, help us, help save one of our own, man. That's what it's all about, y'all. So moving right into my second favorite, who's hot, who's not. Man, we got a little bit of drama going down on this just because kind of rubbed me the wrong way. A couple little articles I read about certain things going on in today NASCAR and what we got going down. But we're going to start it out with who's hot. Nobody's hotter in the sport right now than Kyle Larson. We all know that, man. 9 wins this season, absolutely just dominating. It's not that we haven't seen this in years past, because we've seen Hamlin and we've seen Harvick both dominate, seen Truex dominate. It's been kind of the recent telltale of the sport in the last 5 to 7 years. You got 2 to 3 guys that dominate. This year has been a more mix below Kyle Larson. He's kind of set the bar high. Nobody's quite been able to meet that bar. I mean, I think Denny Hamlin's the closest one to actually do it. But at the end of the day, he's going out and just absolutely winning everything. And we're going to see how much these wins pay off. We're going to get into something I have to say about that just a little bit later on. But I tell you what I would hate to see is a guy that goes out and wins 9 races, not win a championship. It's got to be something that, we talk about a little bit, and it can happen. That's today's playoff system. It doesn't matter what you do in the first 35. If you make it into that last one and you're in that 4, it's that last one that matters. So there again, I would hate to see a guy with the dominating year that he's had, led over 2,000 laps, 14 plus stage wins, 9 wins on the season. We're going to see if he can put the final check in the box, man, and bring home championship. But we're going to have to wait a couple more weeks, man. So Chase Elliott, I got to put him on there, man. He's on the verge of getting another win. I tell you, he's been hot, just haven't had things roll his way. Kind of had to track down Kyle Larson there, and I tell you what, he was coming in the end of the race. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. Man, he had a good race car. He was flying. But just came up a little bit short, man, 2nd place. And I tell you what, he knows what it feels like to go into Martinsville and have to race, last year having to do it, basically having to win to get in, and he did that. This year, I don't think it's necessarily a win to get in. What I do think it is, he's got to go out and have a very good, clean race, no penalties in the pit box, no bad restarts, no tire issues, none of that BS, man, just a nice, good, clean, solid top 10, and we'll be going to race for that championship in Phoenix. And I tell you, if I think there is one guy out there right now that can beat Kyle Larson at Phoenix, it's going to be Chase Elliott, man. That's just what I'm saying. I'm putting it out there. So Denny Hamlin, there again, making the hot list, man. Mr. Consistency all season long. I don't think there's been a driver in the sport that's been as consistent as Hamlin. Necessarily didn't carry in and get those wins early as we expected, especially after a dominating year like he had last year. But when the playoffs started, he got hot, started getting these wins, man. Kind of cooled off in the last few weeks. Not necessarily bad deal, but at the end of the day, just hasn't been out there performing, winning these races, putting himself in there, had some trouble, some drama. But at the end of the day, there again, doing big, great things, man. So staying on the hot list, man. And I got to give it to him, give credit where credit is due. I got to give it up to the 4-car, man, of Kevin Harvick, right? 2 top 10 finishes here. Had really good race cars in the past couple races, got up front, contending for the wins in a way. So I tell you what, even though he's got the drama going on, my boy, at the end of the day, man, I got to give credit where credit is due, and that's where it's due right there in that 4-car. He's got a couple more shots to get a win this season. We'll see what he can do. We'll see if he comes out with a win. I don't personally think he's going to get a win. I really personally hope he doesn't get a win just because karma's a bitch. But at the end of the day, man, we'll have to see. He got a couple more opportunities, and we know he can go out and win Phoenix, and we know he could probably win Martinsville, man. So as long as he's there, we'll see what he does, man. But moving right into that who's not, man, this is where we're going to get into some stuff. Like I said, I've been wanting to get off of my chest, man. And the playoff system is the first thing I'm going to talk about tonight. I want to kind of get this off my chest. I alluded to it earlier. You got a guy like Kyle Larson's got 9 wins, man. And this playoff system that we're in now was supposed to reward a win more than what we were in the older one that paid the consistency. Well, it goes to argue that Denny Hamlin is right there and been right behind Kyle Larson. And in this system, it does not matter what the point difference is as long as you're in the final 4, right? So we got a guy that's got, 3 wins, 4 wins, whatever it is Hamlin has. Then you got Kyle Larson. Not only does he have more stage wins, he's also got more race wins. And we're getting ready to reset all that when we go into Phoenix, wipe the slate clean, and give 4 guys an opportunity to race to win a championship. So I don't think that the win necessarily pays enough through the regular season. I think a win should be more rewarding if it's 1 or if it's 3 or if it's 5, or if we have a point system that's, hey, a 1 win's worth this. If you get 5 wins, you get an extra bonus 10 points or whatever it may be. But something's got to give for these guys that go out and win this many races, because at the end of the day, we're basically running the old style point system through stage racing where consistency pays all the way down to that last race, which I like the drama of only having 4 guys in it. I like the fact that the points are reset, but up to that point, I still think the win should pay a little bit more than what they do. So there again, moving right into Penske, I'm telling you, they're having down, as I stated earlier, all 3 of their cars are outside of that top 4 right now, which we're not used to saying. You're used to seeing Brad Keselowski or at least Joey Logano be in that championship 4. One of them is still possible that one of them can get in. We're going to have to wait and see what goes down. We'll see if one of them can seal the deal and win the race, or if one of them makes it in, points their way in with some bad luck on some other drivers. We're just going to have to wait and see what goes down here at Martinsville. But like I said, you can guarantee it's going to be tough, and it's going to be drama-filled, and guys' patience are going to run very thin, man. So I cannot wait to watch it, man. So, my next rant, another one that's going down right now, which a couple drivers, even my favorite driver, has alluded to it, and that's the NASCAR and the F1 craze that's going on right now, man. So if you guys have read any of these articles, if you haven't, go on NASCAR.com. There's a couple on there. Just Google F1 craze NASCAR. Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott both stated what they felt about it, and have they been tuned into more of it this year. There's a docuseries going on right now that kind of takes you behind the scenes through some of these F1 race teams, takes you into their day-to-day operation, their monthly operation, their race preparation, how these race cars are built, everything that goes into it from the ground up as an organization, man. You know, a lot of people out there that don't necessarily know much about NASCAR just think it's kind of get in a car, go fast, turn left. And unfortunately, man, it's not that way. These cars are built by extremely smart engineers, and millions and millions and millions of dollars go into these organizations, not only to use the equipment to get these engineers to build these race cars. Then you got to go out and have a driver. You got to go out, and find a team and put it together and hopefully be successful. And without spending a lot of money, usually it doesn't happen. So it's kind of something cool. I think that NASCAR might look into something like this in the future, give a little all-access type TV show to where they follow them around for a year, and you actually get the feel of not only what the drivers go through, but what these race teams do and the logistics of the business and what it is from the ground up. But, man, I tell you what, do I think Formula One racing is better than NASCAR? No, that's just me. Personal opinion, no, I don't. But at the end of the day, each is their own. And, hey, man, I like it. I like the popularity, so keep it up. But that's why it's on the not list. I just think something NASCAR got to check into. And it definitely helps whenever it's on a big streaming age that we're in now. So, something they got to look forward to, man. So big shout out, main sponsor, man, my main man, Parker Eccles over there, Arbor Man Tree Service. Greatly appreciated, brother, for everything you do, man. Say it all the time. You'll see a little number scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Need some tree service work done, like I tell you all the time. No job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call. Telling you right now, man, he will do anything and everything for you. Locally owned, locally operated, man. Give him a holler. He'll definitely come out and take care of you, man. Hey, love you, brother. Thank you for everything you do for us and everything you do for our charities up here at Coaches, man. Absolutely love you, man. But, hey, getting right on into that Kansas recap, man. What a great race we had there. I tell you, that's one of my favorite racetracks to go to, not only, but also to watch on TV. Multi-groove, very fast, very exciting, as what we saw on Sunday, man. You got all kinds of different guys having issues there that were in the playoffs, man. Like I said earlier, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, all these guys had all kinds of trouble, man, bringing out cautions, blown tires, wrecked race cars. Like I said, flopped those points pretty good. Some gained a little bit, some lost a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're coming down to one race right here at Martinsville to knock it down to 4 guys, man. So it's got to get done. You got to go out and do it. But I tell you what, restarts were key there at Kansas. We saw it as we saw at Texas, man. Once he got out front, Kyle Larson seemed to run away with it. As I said, Elliott had a really good race car, man, was hunting them down there for a long time, getting down to the nitty-gritty, pushed it really hard, got in the wall once, hurt it, got in the wall again, destroyed it, man, kind of just had to limp it home, comes home second. Not a bad day when you look at it, jumping up 32 to the good right there in second, man. So I tell you what, I think he's going to make that forward there again. Just got to go out and be consistent at Martinsville. Top 10, clean top 10, that's all we need, man. No issues whatsoever, man. There again, as I said, Kyle Larson brings home that win, 9th win of the season, man. It's nothing new if you've been watching NASCAR this year. This is what happens pretty much almost week in and week out. 36 races on the schedule. The man's won 9 of them. You do the math, right? So he's absolutely killing it, man. But getting right into Martinsville, as I said, man, the paperclip itself, home of the famous Martinsville hot dog. Never had the opportunity to have one. Might put it on the bucket list to go up there just for the hot dog and the race. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I absolutely love Martinsville, man. Brings back that short track. Going to be very similar to what you're going to see at LA Coliseum in a sense, man. Guys are going to use the bumper. Patients are going to run thin. Guys going to hold you up, which you can't afford. You're going to use the bumper, move them out of the way, man. Not wreck them, but move them out of the way. And I absolutely love that style of racing. Martinsville is an amazing race, such historic racetrack. Man, I cannot wait till we get there. I don't think there's a better racetrack in the playoffs as a cutoff other than Martinsville to me. I look at it as, man, it gives guys opportunities. You know, you can have some bad stuff happen early, rebound from it. Now, the second half of the race has got to be clean. Takes a long time to come back up through the field and come back and get that track position back at Martinsville. So there again, pit stop's going to be key. Restart's going to be key. Not getting spun out, staying clean, going to be the key parts of the race, man. So we'll see who can do that, who can make it down to those last few laps, and we'll see who can lock themselves into the 4 here on Sunday at Martinsville, man. So 5 to watch out for. I got a guy in number 1, like I said, and he was on the hot list, but it's not going to be who you think. I'll take the 11 car first this week, Denny Hamlin, Virginia native, man. I mean, I think that he's hungry. We saw him win the opening race on each 3 of the first cutoff, sets of races through the playoffs, 16, 12, and into 8. Man, we're going to see if he can turn around and do it right here at Martinsville. Got some wins there before. Very good short track racer. Very good at keeping his nose clean. And I tell you what, he's got a specific style and line he likes to run there. We'll see if they can get that car hooked up. We'll see if he can come home with the checkered, man. 2 for me. We know this guy's been dominating short tracks in general in the last few years, and that's Martin Truex Jr., man. I tell you what, I think he's got just as good a shot as any of the guys below that cut line to go out and get a win, to lock themselves in right now. The man is just absolutely dominant at Martinsville and some other short track. So there again, be on the lookout for that 19 of Martin Truex Jr. That Toyota, Joe Gibbs Toyota, is going to have a good run, man. 3, I can't leave it out. He came out and won the race to lock himself into the playoffs, went on to win the championship last year. As I said at the beginning of this season, I felt like it's going to be a repeat championship year for Chase Elliott. Mark my words, still true. Chase Elliott going to make the Final Four. Chase Elliott's going to win back-to-back championships. He's going to beat Kyle Larson, man. You heard it here. I'm telling you. But I got him 3 on my list this week. Got a really good shot at going out and winning Martinsville. I just don't think that's in the race plans for necessarily what they have to do. If it's capable and that car's capable, that's what he will do. This is not the type of guy that's going to push it. He's going to get that top 10, like I said, that he needs to move on, lock it up, go into Phoenix, and bring that A game, man. So go ahead and go get him, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, 4th right here, going to be Kyle Larson. Can't leave the 5 car out. The guy's just been absolutely on fire, as I've said, the whole show and pretty much almost every show that we've done this year. There's nothing more that needs to be said. 5's on the list. If you got an opportunity to take 5, man. I mean, the guy's going to probably, have a really good run. We'll see if he can go out and get a win there at Martinsville, but going to have a really good race car either way. 5, I tell you what, I got to give it to him, man. I'll go with the Candyman Kyle Busch. I know he's hungry. Got to find a way to keep himself in that playoff. He's good by 1 point right now over Ryan Blaney. Got to outrun the 12. He's got to outrun some other guys. He cannot been doing what he's been doing. Don't know if you guys watched the race, but I think he had like a psychotic meltdown in the car at some point in time. Started screaming. I don't know if he was screaming at Candy. I don't know what he was. If he was high on him. I don't know what he was doing, man. But he was doing something at the end of the day in the race car. He started screaming, got mad. Typical, but I still think the guy's going to be good enough maybe to make the championship 4. I had him out, so it doesn't hurt my feelings either way. My guy that I got going in to make my 4 complete and hitting it would be Joey Logano. I would need him to win the race, and the rest of the points stay the way they are right now for him to be in. But we're just going to have to see if that happens, man. But I tell you what, dark horses, man, I tell you, I got to go with the guy that I love the way he's been racing all year. I think 750 horsepower, especially on this short track, if they can get him a halfway decent car who'll have a good run, that'll be the 99 of Daniel Suarez, man. I love what they've done there at Trackhouse for a first-year team, 1-car organization right now. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do next year when they take over Ganassi and those operations, see if those guys can do it. But I tell you what, at the end of the day, man, those guys have been doing it all year long. Look out for Daniel Suarez, man. The other one, look out for, I'll go ahead and take Matt Benedetto in the 21 car. Been kind of quiet, man. really, really hoping that this guy, you know, seals the deal with an offer. He's had multiple, but I really hope that he finds one that really fits his style. Maybe drop back down to the Xfinity for a good team, man. Go out and get some wins, you know, win some races. That's what I'd really like to see for this guy, whether it's in Cup or whether it's in Xfinity. We've had guys make it to Cup and fall back down and have great careers, man. You've seen it year after year after year. I think that Matt Benedetto has that personality to be able to do that. Not only is he, you know, a great representation for sponsors, very humble guy, and he's a pretty decent race car driver, man. So at the end of the day, we'll see if he can go into Martinsville and come home with a good finish as well. So this is usually where we're grubbing. We're going to move on to some other things and come back to it here in just a little bit, man. We got some stuff coming up. Hey, I tell you what, man, big shout out to PJ Zuko over there at 104.3 ESPN Coastal, man. Green, white, checkered every Sunday, 9 to 9:30. Missed it last week, had some technical difficulties there at the station, man. We've had some issues here this year just with the logistics of it all. But I tell you what, man, if you haven't tuned in, make sure you tune in because it is an absolutely amazing show. A little bit more structured here. Like I said, every Sunday morning, 9 to 9:30, 104.3 ESPN Coastal. You can also stream it right there live on their Facebook page. And if you want to listen to it after, it's been posted to SoundCloud, man. So definitely check that out. It's a really neat show, really good show, man. So here we go with the grubbing. Been waiting on these, man. I tell you, these look absolutely amazing. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. So we got some kebabs, man, and we got chicken, shrimp. We got all kinds of stuff going down on these. I'm going to say this.
Thank you, Charlie Cunningham.
Mr. Cunningham himself, Charlie Cunningham, made these. Let me tell you, I had some tuna from the man not too long ago. Absolutely amazing. So I already know these are going to be amazing. I'm going to get into these, but we're going to call these the remnants of the Houston Astros. We done grilled them up. We going to eat them up tonight, man. We going to call these some Astro kebabs because the Braves ain't scared to eat a heart or two, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Chop on, baby. Thank you guys again for tuning in so much, man. Means a lot to me. Like I say, make sure you stay tuned. You got Carl DeMasi. Don't know if he's going to be here, but him and Kyle Lawson breaking down everything local in sports, man. Keeping you up on the baseball stuff. Doing a big thing, man. Coach Carl's been a staple around here for a long time. Does a great job with the show. You got the Hot Grits podcast with Travis and Spencer, man. Make sure you check those guys out as well. Hey, man. Brothers, I ever get these boys right here set up doing some stuff for the 19th hole, man. I'm talking them into, and when we get rolling in the spring, they need to do like a Saturday recap and a Sunday like prop bet type thing, man. It'd be funny, be amazing. We're gonna talk them into getting that rolling as well, man. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. As always, man, hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Go ahead, chop on hard for these Braves tonight, man. Let's go ahead and get this game 2. And like I said, man, always make sure you stay out there. Give the ones you love a big hug, man. And as always, stay safe. Wash your hands, y'all. All right. Now I drink some beers.